Welcome, football fans. Today we're exploring the journey of a player whose rise to the NFL is not just a story about athletic ability, but about belief, perseverance, and an unshakable work ethic. This is Tucker Kraft, a name that may have started in the small towns of South Dakota, but now echoes on the biggest stages of football. His story is one of humble beginnings and unrelenting drive, of a young man who built himself from the ground up and proved that greatness doesn't depend on where you start. It depends on how much you're willing to give. Born and raised in Timber Lake, South Dakota, Tucker Kraft grew up surrounded by the vast openness of the plains, a setting that shaped him as much as any weight room or football field ever could. Life there was simple. Family, hard work, and community were everything. In small towns like Timber Lake, nothing is handed to you. You learn early that if you want something, you have to earn it. That foundation would come to define Tucker's journey. Before he ever dreamed of the NFL, before college scouts knew his name, Tucker was just a kid who loved competition, who thrived on challenge, and who found joy in doing things the hard way. At Timber Lake High School, Kraft was more than just an athlete. He was an all-around force. In small school football, you don't get the luxury of specialization. One night you're catching touchdowns. The next you're making tackles, blocking, returning kicks, and maybe even playing special teams. Tucker did it all: tight end, running back, linebacker, safety. He wasn't just a standout, he was a necessity. But what made him special wasn't just versatility. It was his hunger to dominate, to give everything no matter the role. He carried that small-town pride like armor, showing the kind of toughness that can't be taught. Even then, Tucker's physical gifts were obvious. He was big, strong, fast, and explosive, the kind of athlete who could outmuscle you one play and outrun you the next. But what really separated him was his mentality. Every time he stepped on the field, it wasn't about proving people wrong. It was about proving himself right. He knew he belonged among the best. He just needed the world to catch up. When it came time to choose a college, Tucker didn't have the kind of five-star recruitment stories that fill headlines. He wasn't a household name, and he didn't have powerhouse schools chasing him. Instead, he chose South Dakota State University, a program known for its culture of development and discipline, a place that fit his values perfectly. It was there, in Brookings, that Tucker Kraft's story truly began to take shape. At South Dakota State, nothing came easy. The jump from high school to college ball is a wake-up call for anyone, but especially for players coming from smaller programs. The game was faster, the competition tougher, and the margin for error razor-thin. Yet, Tucker approached it the only way he knew how, with work. Endless, thankless, grinded-out work. He redshirted his first year, using that time not as a setback, but as an opportunity. While others might have been discouraged, he embraced the process. He hit the weight room, studied film, and focused on building himself into the kind of player who couldn't be ignored. And soon enough, he wasn't. By his sophomore season, Tucker started to show flashes of what he could become: a big, athletic tight end with soft hands, crisp routes, and a fearless approach to contact. But it was his breakout 2021 season that changed everything. That year, Kraft emerged as one of the most dominant tight ends in all of college football, catching passes with authority and playing with a physicality that demanded attention. He racked up over 700 receiving yards and became a nightmare for defenses, showcasing a blend of speed, power, and agility that scouts dream of. But the stats only told part of the story. What coaches and teammates saw every day was a competitor who refused to quit. Kraft played through pain, fought through fatigue, and treated every rep in practice like it was the final play of a championship game. That kind of intensity doesn't just happen. It comes from years of discipline, from growing up in a place where people don't talk about work ethic, they live it. By the time the NFL came calling, Tucker Kraft had built more than a resume. He had built a reputation. Scouts saw the potential, the raw athleticism, the physical frame. But they also saw the intangibles: leadership, toughness, humility. They saw a player who wasn't afraid to do the dirty work, who would block with as much pride as he'd catch a touchdown. That's what made him stand out in a draft class filled with talent. In 2023, Tucker Kraft's dream became reality when he was selected by the Green Bay Packers in the NFL Draft. It was a moment that validated every hour of sacrifice, every doubt he'd pushed through, every small-town night spent imagining something bigger. But for Tucker, it wasn't the finish line, It was the starting point of a new challenge. Adjusting to the NFL is a test of resilience for any rookie. The game is faster, the defenders stronger, and the expectations sky high. But Kraft embraced it with the same grit that had gotten him there. In Green Bay, he walked into a locker room rich with tradition and expectation. He understood the weight of the jersey he wore, the legacy of greats who'd come before him, and he was ready to earn his place among them. Early in his rookie season, Tucker began to show flashes of what made him special. His blocking stood out immediately, physical, disciplined, and selfless. He wasn't just another tight end trying to make a highlight reel. He was a football player in the truest sense. He took pride in the small things, sealing an edge on a run play, picking up a blitz, fighting for extra yards. And as the season progressed, his confidence grew. His connection with quarterback Jordan Love began to develop, his role expanded, and by the end of the year, he was no longer a hidden gem. He was a cornerstone in the making. What makes Tucker's journey so inspiring is not just how he's played, but how he's handled every stage of the climb. He's never been one to complain, never one to demand attention. He carries himself with humility, always giving credit to his teammates, coaches, and community. But behind that modesty is a fierce competitor, a man who's constantly looking for ways to improve, stronger routes, cleaner footwork, better reads. For Tucker, success is never static. It's a moving target. Every day is another opportunity to grow. Off the field, Tucker Kraft has remained true to who he is, grounded, grateful, and giving. He hasn't forgotten where he came from or the people who helped him get there. Whether it's returning to Timberlake to mentor young athletes or sharing his story with kids who dream of following in his footsteps, he's proof that you don't have to change who you are to make it big. You just have to stay consistent, stay humble, and keep working. His story resonates deeply because it represents something universal, the power of persistence. Tucker wasn't handed a path. He carved one out of hard work and faith. He's a reminder that you don't need the biggest stage to prepare for greatness. Sometimes all you need is belief, a ball, and a burning desire to be better than you were yesterday. What's also remarkable about Tucker is his versatility within the Packers offense. He's not confined to one role. He can line up on the line of scrimmage, flex out wide, or even contribute as a lead blocker. His athleticism allows the offense to stay unpredictable, and his toughness gives them an edge. But beyond the X's and O's, what makes him invaluable is his reliability. When the game gets physical, when the weather turns cold and conditions get brutal, those are the moments Tucker Kraft thrives in. He's built for it. He's built for the grind, for the noise, for the pressure. In an era where so many young players focus on branding and image, Tucker represents something refreshingly pure, the essence of football itself. The work, the brotherhood, the respect for the game. He's not chasing headlines, he's chasing excellence. And that's why fans have quickly embraced him, because they see authenticity in him. He's one of them, a worker, a fighter, someone who knows the value of every yard earned. As he continues to grow within the NFL, there's a sense that the best of Tucker Kraft is yet to come. His potential is immense, his ceiling high, but it's his foundation that will keep him climbing. He's got the body of an NFL star, but more importantly, the mind of one. His focus, his humility, and his refusal to be satisfied set him apart. Every season, he's adding new tools to his game, and every game, he's building trust with his coaches, with his quarterback, and with fans who can already see the makings of something special. Tucker's journey reminds us of a timeless truth, that greatness is not born in spotlight moments, but in the quiet ones. It's built in the weight room before sunrise, on the practice field after dark, in the film sessions when no one's watching. It's built in the heart of a kid from South Dakota who refused to let where he came from limit where he could go. His rise is proof that you don't need to come from a football powerhouse or have every advantage lined up in your favor. What matters is the grind, the character, and the unwavering belief that you can make it, no matter how long it takes. And for Tucker Kraft, that belief has turned into reality, one play at a time. As the seasons unfold, and his role in Green Bay continues to grow, one thing is clear: Tucker Kraft is here to stay. He's not just another name on the roster. He's part of the Packers' future. A tight end who embodies the spirit of the game, tough, disciplined, and determined. The kind of player who makes teams better just by the way he approaches his craft. In a league where talent is abundant but dedication is rare, Tucker stands out as a reminder of what football is really about. Not fame, but fulfillment. Not flash, but fight. His journey from Timberlake to Lambeau Field is a story for anyone who's ever dared to dream from a small place. Anyone who's ever been told it couldn't be done. Because Tucker Kraft has shown that with work, humility, and relentless belief, there are no limits. This is Tucker Kraft's story, the small-town kid with big-time heart, the quiet worker turned professional, the tight end who's building a legacy one block, one catch, one drive at a time. His path is still being written, and the chapters ahead promise to be even more powerful than the ones before. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey through the inspiring rise of Tucker Kraft. If his story reminded you that success comes from effort, patience, and persistence, then take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in the grind, and subscribe so you never miss another story like this. Because in every generation, there are players who remind us why we love this game, and Tucker Kraft is one of them.